This is the 56th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I am your infirm host, Aaron, and allow me to run my mouth for a little bit. I'm just not even getting off on the right foot today. Not even just like with the pod, just like in general. Oh my God. Okay, so if you could not tell by the sound of my voice, I'm sick. I went to Birmingham and I got sick. Not for the express purpose of getting sick, but the side effect of me going to Birmingham was that I got sick. Which thankfully it was just a cold and not, COVID again, because that would have sucked. But I am still kind of coughing and nasally. And listen, elephant in the room. I've never really directly addressed it because, what do I even say? But I do realize that after a certain point in the pod of me talking for a certain amount of time, I just get really phlegmy. Just like up here, it's just bad. And I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be bad this episode, but I'm prepared. I have tissues. So I'm probably gonna have to take a couple breaks and blow my nose throughout this, just so that both of us can survive this episode. So yeah, and also this probably is gonna be a longer episode because I do have quite a bit to talk about because, like I said, I went to Birmingham. But I don't know. I didn't wake up late today or anything like that. I woke up fine. I did sort of everything on time. As you probably can't tell, my hair is freshly done. However, it only got done like 3 hours ago, whereas usually when it's time for me to do my hair, I usually do it around noon. But it was another thing where I had just a little bit of food and my body was like, oh, we gotta go lay down. And ended up laying down until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, God, why did I do that? I could have chosen not to lay down, but I don't know. I've been tired. Maybe I needed the nap. It wasn't even really a nap because I had a YouTube video playing and I had to keep waking up to skip the ads because it was a really long video. So it's like, was it even worth it? I don't know. I guess the side effect is that I can, I'm not tired doing this because it is past 8 o'clock as I'm doing this. So my sleep schedule is already whacked out. So it's like, what's really the change here? And not only am I sick, but I got an ear infection last time. Well, the time that I got COVID. And I had just gotten over it. Like, my ear was finally sort of back to normal. And now it feels like I have cotton in my right ear, and it is deeply upsetting. Because I mean, I kind of can't hear out of one ear. Wait, what did I just say? I kind of can't hear out of one ear. I don't know why that sounded incorrect to me. Because I can't hear, that's why it sounded incorrect. So that's why my headphones are on this ear, which honestly I probably should swap it out. Because, I put my headphones on and I put my recorder on standby. And I was like, man, why can't I hear myself? And it's like, oh yeah, you're partially freaking deaf because you're sick. And it's like, I don't really want to go back to the doctor because, I went to the doctor a couple of times when I got my ear infection because it was just so disconcerting. And, like I said, this is going to be a long one today. I took medication for it. And, it was like a whole thing. But now, being that I'm at my big age of 26 years, I still had to pay the last time, co-pays and stuff like that. But now, all my medical expenses are on me. So, I still sort of don't really know how deductibles work. So it's like, I don't know. I sure do hope that my ear isn't infected and that it doesn't actually make me go deaf, and maybe it's just a little inflamed. Maybe I don't know, man. Anyways, Birmingham. So I'm hoping that this story kind of goes over well because I don't know. I'll just start to say it. So, anyone who's watched this podcast for any amount of time, any number of episodes will know that anytime I have a trip coming up or a concert coming up, I will yap about it nonstop. But I only maybe mentioned going to Furnace Fest, which is where I went. I went to Furnace Fest in Birmingham. Maybe like 1.5 times, even though well, anyways, it was, the lineup was announced back in, I want to say like March or like earlier this year. And I had no intention of going because, it's expensive. It's a very expensive most festivals are expensive, but, I think the money's worth was gotten just, considering the amount of bands that I saw, which I will talk about them. But like I had no plans to pay for because I think even the what do you call it, the payment plans, it was still gonna be like $90 a month or something, like, no, maybe not a month, $90 however many times that you had to pay. And I was like, that's kind of a lot. I at that time I was still saving up money to move, even though I wasn't really doing a superb job of that. That was still my main focus. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. But then I was, I how do I put this? I had my trip comped just a little bit, just a teeny weeny bit, and that's how I was able to go this year. I will not be doing that next year. Okay, they've said, see you guys next year, but if you guys were paying attention to, which I wasn't really, so I only saw like a little bit of this, but, the organizers of Furnace Fest were like, yeah, guys, this might be the last one. Our ticket sales aren't where they should be, so they lowered ticket sales by like $100, like, a month before the festival, which, ended up working for them, and then they had to cancel some other festival that was going on for reasons that I don't really know. I didn't look into it. So it's like, is there going to be one next year? I sure hope so. But if there is one next year, I would like to pay for it myself. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be in a precarious financial situation, which it's not like I was in a precarious financial situation last year. I was just saving up. I just wanted to use my money for something else. And also, the lineup at the time did not include the one band that I really wanted to see. So it's like, I am familiar with a handful of these bands that were announced at that time. But then, the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza was brought out of hibernation for Furnace Fest, and I was like, oh man, I really wish I could go. And then a very lovely friend of mine was like, oh yeah, I'll pay for it. Well, okay, we'll just say I was not really convinced to go until one particular band was announced, and I was like, ooh, that kind of sweetens the deal for me, and so I went. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go. And like I said, I had my trip comped a little bit, which is a really, yeah, that describes the situation. Anyway, the day of the trip comes. We're traveling to Birmingham, and I'm no stranger to Birmingham. I've been there a few times in my life, including to go to concerts. So it's like, I've never been, first of all, this was my first ever music festival. So that was interesting. I didn't really know what to expect. Like, how big are the festival grounds? Like, what's the toilet situation? Which, oh God, those porta potties, man, they were the construction porta potties. But if you got VIP, you get to get the nice porta potties. But us poors got the regular construction zone porta potties, and they were not nice, especially after the sun went down, because there's no lights in them. So you're basically fumbling around with your phone camera, trying to make sure you don't step in a puddle of pee, and trying to make sure, yeah, that was deeply unpleasant. Everything else about the festival was great. The toilet situation was not. I don't really know what can be done about that other than, I don't know, upgrading the I've been sick. Other than upgrading the like VIP, which I don't even know how much VIP costs. So it's like, I don't even know if that would have been an option for me. Definitely not this time around, but next time, I don't even know if I would do that. Is paying however many hundreds, if it is hundreds of dollars extra, worth it to get in the VIP? I don't know. to get the somewhat nicer toilets. Because, I mean, the Sloss Furnaces, it is like a museum, and I'm like 90% sure that there are some like regular toilets on the grounds. They just weren't available to us. But I'll try not to harp on the toilets too much. Also, my first time staying in an Airbnb, which I don't normally do because, I mean, usually when I'm traveling, I am solo traveling, so it doesn't really make sense for me to spend that much money on an Airbnb when it's literally just me. I can just go to a hotel and it'll be fine. However, I know they had like packages with hotels. So like if I were to go to a festival by myself, which, listen, I do like 90% of my life by myself. Going to a festival by myself, I don't think that would be on the list. Because, there'd be times where I'd be like separated from my group, just like chilling by myself. And I'd be like, man, I can't do this on my own. Like this is an experience, best experience with other people. Like I fully believe that. Even though I am a very big proponent of doing stuff by myself, I don't think I would want to do that by myself. And also, somewhat unrelated, I don't know how much of doing things by myself I have left in me, just like sidebar, but we're not going to think about that for too long. Do I have the thing? Okay. I have several props today, by the way, because I did get quite a bit of merch, and I have a video. So if you are listening to the audio-only version of the podcast, I do regret to inform you that you are, in fact, only getting half the story today. Any other time, you might be okay. Today, you're definitely only getting half the story. You're only getting, like, 2/3, 1/3 of the story. Yeah, so consider watching on youtube.com for this episode. You can still have it on in the background, just, anytime I hold something up, just, turn around, like, have a look. Anywho, let's just go through the days. I have the lineup lined up here from their Instagram. So we left from Jackson. I can't even remember when we left. It wasn't like early in the morning. I think it was around like 9:45, and we go straight to the festival grounds, because I guess Airbnbs are more strict with their check-in times, and they're like, no, you can only come at like 4, and so it's like, whatever. So we did make it in time for Gideon on the main stage. I think we were just walking in when they were playing, and you know what? I have my wristband, but I did not bring it with me, to my desk before I hit record. It's fine. Not that it really needs to be seen anyway, but it's fine. And then after that, I'm trying to remember some of the bands that I saw. I will say, for the most part, for the weekend, I didn't really pay much attention to the pawn stage. I mostly floated between, or I guess my group mostly floated between the main stage and the shed, which, by the way, the shed is, like, honestly really cool for a venue. I'm not really sure what it used to be because, again, this is, like, a former, I guess, blast furnace to refine steel. So it's just like, it's a big shed, but it's got like a big thing in the back. If you look at pictures from like any pictures from the shed from that weekend, there's like this big like rusty thing just like in the background. And it like served as the backdrop for the stage, and I thought it was really cool. But the shed stage was primarily like the like much heavier bands except for Sunday. And then the main stage was the main stage, and the pawn stage was probably for the more, I guess, like, definitely more pop punk type bands played there. So let's see. I don't think we like stayed and watched Gideon. I'm really trying to remember like who we saw on Friday. Also, this is a week late because we got back on Monday at like 3:00, and I was like, I can't do anything today. Like, I cannot sit down and talk at length about this, which I probably should have because now I've like forgotten most of this. Let me see. I do know we stayed for the entire day to Jimmy Eat World. I was really interested in seeing from first to last. I didn't really know of their existence until I want to say Dead Trees. I'm gonna look up, when did this come out? Leave Me Alone pop-up, Jesus. When did this album come out? It's the one with Spencer Sotelo. This is 2015. I didn't know about it in 2015, but I learned that Spencer Sotelo did vocals for it. We were kind of speculating, like, oh, who's gonna do the vocals? Like, is Skrillex gonna show up? He did not. In fact, the person who was supposed to be doing vocals, I would have been really excited to see. It was supposed to be Kellen Quinn of I was gonna say Let's Cheers to This Fame, but that's the album, Sleeping with Sirens. But apparently his wife was having health issues, so he had to drop out, and I don't really know who ended up doing vocals. I mean, I didn't watch like At the Stage, because I mean by that time it was late, and I was tired from standing up all that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm sitting by this fountain. I'm getting sprayed by the water, and I'm just gonna listen from here, and it'll be sufficient. I forgot another prop. Crap. Okay. I actually need to go get this. Hold on. Okay, the prop I got that I initially went to get wasn't relevant right now, but it will be later. So this is the wristband. If it'll focus, which it probably won't. Oh, there you go. I did unfortunately have mine too tight to the point where also you'll see it doesn't have the thingy on there. I had to get pliers to like crack the little black thingy off that holds it on, because I accidentally tightened it like a little bit too much, not too much thankfully, but I had to basically like bathe with it on, and that was interesting. I couldn't take it off, which that bothered the crap out of me, but it ended up being fine. Anyway, so was I talking about from first to last? Yeah. For whatever. Oh, I remember. We did end up seeing Mind Force that day. I will say, I was kind of going with the flow, except for on Sunday, because, you know, I am somewhat familiar with, like, most of these bands, but there wasn't really anyone I was, like, really set on seeing, so I was just kind of open. Oh, no, I'm missing something really freaking important. Okay, so, goodness. I need a beverage, hold on. That was intense. And also to blow my nose. This episode is going to take so much editing. I'm just making so much work for myself. Oh well, man. So, we saw Mind Force in the Shed, and then after that was this band called Speed, and they are from, I want to say, Australia. And so, let me just look them up real quick so I can speak somewhat intelligently about this. They're a hardcore band from Australia. Where in Australia? Great question, because I can't see. Hold on. Sydney? Maybe? Something like that. Anyways, for the most part, most of the bands that performed didn't really have much, like, speech time, because, you know, all these set times are very, you know, set in stone. There's not really a whole lot of, like, gaps really in between the sets, even between the stages. Like, there is somebody playing pretty much at all times. Very little gaps. And also the set times aren't, like, super long to begin with. But the vocalist for Speed, whose name I don't know, oopsie poopsie, has this, like, whole speech about his friend who is from Korea, I think, who came to Australia, who ended up dying. And I legit can't even remember the, you know, details of the speech, but what he was saying, this is unprecedented for me. I don't know what I was going through at the time. Clearly I was going through something, but that was sort of at the beginning of it. And then I just start crying, like, straight up. I start crying during a hardcore set. Like, I'm not, you know, close to the stage or anything like that. We're actually pretty far back. We're, like, right by the sound area. So if you were at Furnace Fest in the Shed, where the sound and lights area is, that's where we were standing. And I was just crying. Not exactly, you know, boohoo bawling, because I sort of didn't want to cry, but it just ended up happening anyways. But I just freaking broke down, man. It was so crazy because, he was right. Friendship is important. And also, it sort of got me thinking back to the last trip that I took with, people who I thought were friends. A person, really, it was just one person who I thought was a friend, trying to share this experience with someone, and they sort of didn't want to be there. And that led to a whole breakdown of a friendship and a several month-long saga of me just like being in the worst headspace I've ever been in, probably ever. So far. So, I was thinking about that and it's like, man, like, yeah, I was more or less begged to go on this trip, so I was like, there are people who like want me around, there are people who like actually enjoy my presence and I get to be around them. And that's like great, and it made me very emotional. It made me it made me very emotional. And so I started crying. So, that was an interesting experience. I've cried in a lot of unconventional places, driving down the interstate at night while it was raining. Don't recommend. That's kind of dangerous. And also at a hardcore show at a music festival. So it's like, okay, yeah, where else am I going to cry? On the friggin' moon? We'll see. We certainly shall see. But yeah, I was just so taken with emotion by the vocalist's words that I was like, I freaking started crying. It's crazy. Like, I'm laughing now, but obviously it wasn't very funny at the time because, like, I was, like, actually moved and upset. So it's like, like, yeah. So shout out to Speed for bringing me to tears. Not a lot of bands can say that they've done that. In fact, they might be the only band who can say that they've done that. I've never cried at a movie. I've never cried at a television show. I've never cried at a book. I never cried listening to, that's not true. I did cry listening to music when I was like in middle school, but that was weird. So it's very rare for me to be moved to emotion. Which is kind of crazy because, like, I feel like there have been some people, I'm not even gonna lie, it's my mom. She hates it when I cry. Apparently, I just cry all the time to her, which is crazy because I don't. I really don't. In situations that, might be acceptable for me to cry, like I don't. Like the last time I cried on the phone to my mom was when I friggin' tested positive for COVID. Okay, I feel like that's an appropriate response to testing positive for COVID. I didn't know what was about to happen next. And, as I talked about on this here podcast, it ended up being like a whole thing. So like, yeah, maybe I was right to cry. Anyways, we're getting way off topic. That was Friday. Also, some of the food vendors they had, it was festival food and also festival food with festival prices. And for the most, I can't even really, okay. So aside from, there's one like pizza truck that was really good. I don't know the name of it, so I'm sorry, but it was the one serving like the New York style pizza, like the giant slices. It was really good. The first time I ate it, it did give me heartburn. That was a little bit unpleasant. The second time, it didn't really, so that was a little bit better. But the food, let's see, there was like a hot dog stand that I ate from that was just okay. And I paid $13. It wasn't a big hot dog. I don't know if it was, it didn't feel worth $13 for me. And it was also cold. I did get it with, what do you call it? Sauerkraut. So that's maybe why it was cold, but cold hot dog, $13. Anyways, the food was just okay and it was very expensive. So yeah. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday we did we? When did we get there? Maybe not as early, because I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was around, I think Sunday was the day that we got there pretty early. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the first one. I want to say Modern Life is War, but I can't even remember if I was there for that one. I do know that I missed Big Ass Truck, which I did kind of want to see just out of curiosity because, their name is Big Ass Truck. So, but I did end up missing it. who did I even freaking see on Saturday? I can't remember. Honestly, I think we were just kind of hanging out. Let me see. Oh, one band that I did go and see was Zao or Zayo. I actually don't know how to say their name, but I was talking to one of the friends that I was with, and they're like, yeah, they're this big, like, foundational Christian metalcore band from back in the day. And being that I am the metalcore girly, apparently the only one in this freaking scene, that's probably not true. That's actually definitely not true now that I think about it. I want to see, this big foundational Christian metalcore band from back in the day. So I went for, I want to say like their entire set. And it was like, yeah, I don't know really the time period of the stuff that they were playing, but the way that I could sort of describe it, if I were to describe it, was when some of their stuff goes back to like 98. I don't know if that's the stuff that they played, because I have looked up set lists for, I didn't look up super hard, so it's probably out there somewhere. I did look for set lists for Furnace Fest, and this is an official playlist. It's not a set list, though. It says full lineup plus set list playlist, and I know this isn't correct, because for the one band that I did know the songs that they were playing, they like didn't play those songs, which I'm gonna get there, but like I don't know if this has been updated or what. And obviously this friggin' playlist is so long. Where is it? I know it's not this far. Maybe it is this far down. Keep going. That's not it. This is riveting content, by the way. Okay, so I just scrolled right past it. Where the flippin' heck? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so, like, they... for the Tony Danza set, which that is the band that I was very on my head to go and see. I don't know why I was, like, trying to tease that. There's no point. The one band that I really wanted to see that weekend was Tony Danza. I did end up seeing Tony Danza. I'm going to talk about it. But for this, like, official playlist, which, it could just be an official playlist, but it also says set list, they only played 2 songs from Danza 4, and there are more than 2 songs from Danza 4 on this, and also just, like, not enough songs. They, like, played more than this. Anywho, what was I talking about? Zao, or Zayo, Z-A-O. And so the way that I could kind of describe it was that they sort of sounded like, so when I watched the movie Citizen Kane for the first time when I was in college, surprisingly not for an assignment, I just watched it because I wanted to watch it before the assignment. So preemptive? That's not the word that I'm looking for. Either way, you watch Citizen Kane now as like a modern human, and you're like, man, like this, like what's all the fuss about? Like this is a normal movie. And then you think about it and you realize like, oh, this movie came out in 1941. It seems normal now because all the techniques that they used were, had not really been used before. Like Citizen Kane and another like regular movie from 1941 aren't going to be the same, and that is sort of how I can describe watching Zao perform. I did greatly enjoy it. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I stayed for Counterparts. Yeah, we were really just chilling on that Saturday. And I don't think we stayed. Yeah, we stayed for PDUSA, but not for Dropkick Murphys. And I didn't stay for Counterparts. I think I saw Say Anything. I did see Say Anything. Hold on. Is that day or this day? No. So, Saturday was the day that all of those, well, I say all, but there were a decent amount of ska bands that were on the main stage. Don't ask me to name them because I've since forgotten. But there were, a decent amount. I saw them up there with their brass instruments. It was so much fun. Like, I kind of like ska, maybe, like it just sounded so joyful to me. It just put me in a good mood. I don't know what to say about it other than I love a band that uses a brass instrument. There was a band that came to Jackson called Cheap City. I talked about it on the podcast, and they had a saxophonist. And it's like, I love this. And it's like, why don't the children want to make ska anymore? Like, I know kids are being put in band, and I know some of these kids, they're playing trumpets, they're playing alto or soprano saxophones, they're playing French horns. We got so many deathcore bands. Well, that's not even true. We have a 1, 2 question mark, one that just formed literally over this past weekend or the weekend before. So it's like, I know you out there. I'm talking directly to the camera, to the audience, people in Jackson and the surrounding area. I know some of y'all have brass instruments, and you can make a ska band if you wanted to. I will listen to it. Make ska. Make joyful trumpet punk. Like how I mean, I don't know how hard it is. I can only play 2 instruments really badly, so it's like maybe it is really hard. I don't know. Prove me wrong in that regard. You're fully welcome to do so and make some ska. I need to blow my nose again. Intermission. You all should consider yourselves lucky that you're not having to watch me blow my nose, because I guarantee it's the worst thing ever. Anyway, what was I talking about? Ska. Saw a lot of ska bands on Saturday. Just kind of hanging out in like the tree area next to the main stage, and ended up hearing them, and I was like, this music is a lot of fun, Like, where's the joyful trumpet punk? What happened to it? Ugh, okay, so the main event, however, for me was, of course, going to be Sunday, because there were a lot of, I would say, sort of classic metalcore bands that were going to be performing, namely Converge and Norma Jean and the Dillinger Escape Plan, which I was sort of excited for, but the main event for me was, of course, the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza. But before we get there, we actually got there pretty early. We got there early enough to see Johnny Booth, and I mainly wanted to see if they were going to play Asymmetrical. They didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind then, I guess. Who else? Did we see Martyr AD? I can't remember. We did see Weapon X, a straight edge band. I'm not gonna lie, I saw a lot of straight edge representation at this festival, especially like in the merch booth. I think there was one, I can't remember the name of it. Good luck getting me to remember the name of most things, but there's this one vendor that was selling a lot of like straight edge stuff. So yeah. And Weapon X is a straight edge band from, great question, we're about to find out. What? No. I'm talking about the band. Oh my god, hold on. I think, no. Okay. They're from Louisville, Kentucky. Fun. Oh, there's a needle drop video about their second demo. Wait, what's their discography, actually? Hold on. Because that's from earlier this year. They have 2 demos. Hold on. And, like, some singles. They have demo 2. This first demo from 2022. Well, yeah. I did notice there were... This is just making why is my eye watering? God, good lord. Okay. Doing a podcast in this state was certainly a choice, but I couldn't put it off for any longer. Also, I don't feel that bad. Was I even God. Okay. Their discography isn't that big. They're from Louisville, Kentucky, and we saw them, and I thought that was nice. There are probably some other straight edge bands in attendance as well. But Weapon X was the one that I saw. I also saw Haywire, which, if you'll remember, well, you won't remember. Well, you might remember because you might have been there. I wasn't there. So apparently, this past year, Haywire made it a mission to go to every state. And this June 5th, they came to the Sunflower Oven with No Guard, Heavy Yeti, Face Around, Plague Burner. And guess what? I wasn't there. Probably because it was a Thursday. Yeah, because that was a Thursday, but I wasn't there. I do sort of regret not being there. They did put on a good show. I did actually enjoy it. And they might be coming back. So I also didn't get to see Sanguisuga Bog, because I was a little indisposed a little bit before then. Did I see Harm's Way? Maybe I did. I can't really remember. Maybe I saw a little bit of Biohazard. No, I didn't, because I was at the main stage by then. Let's see. Did I see Horace the Band? Okay, that was one that definitely pleasantly surprised me. It was explained to me by a member of my group that Horace the Band was the proto electronic core band, and actually seeing them perform live was a lot of fun. I think they're technically considered Nintendo core, which is fun. But I hadn't really, I sort of knew who they were beforehand, but actually listening to them, that was fun. Let me see. I didn't see Stray from the Path, but you won't remember because this is a different podcast, but on my 23rd birthday, a couple years ago, I saw them in Memphis. They were supporting The Devil Wears Prada on the zombie tour. And they were also filming a music video at the venue Growlers. And once they announced that, I was in the middle of the crowd. And as soon as they announced, hey, if you want to be in this music video, come to the front. Everyone just move forward. And I felt the air escaping my lungs. And I was like, I have to go. I can't do this. I have to go. So I had to escape to the bar. Else I'd be crushed, in hot air, in just everyone else's hot air, because, me being quite a bit shorter than the average person in attendance at a metal show, I'm just getting everybody's body heat. That was legitimately kind of scary, I'm not even gonna lie, but I did manage to make it out, so it's it was kind of whatever. And then we have the main event, which was the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza. Now, I've been listening to Danza since I was in high school, and I will say it really has only been one album I have only ever really listened to Danza 4, but I've listened to Danza 4 so much. Let's go on my stats.fm to see precisely how much I've listened to Danza, and this is going back on my Spotify account to 2017, when I, first established my Spotify account. There's so many pop-ups, good lord. Okay. I wonder where is it's gonna show up on my lifetime. Let's see. It's definitely gotta be up there. Number 31, 888 streams since 2017. That's 3,212 minutes. Also, the songs are a little bit long, so that kind of skews it. But number 31 overall. That's kind of major, So I've been listening to that one album for so long, and so I was obviously very stoked to see them live. Because, Danza 4 came out in 2012. It's been a while. I don't know when they officially broke up or anything like that, or if they ever officially broke up and it was oh, we're going to hiatus or anything like that. But I was really excited to see this. I didn't really know what the lineup was going to be like, because the lineup for Danza 4, it's literally just the vocalist and Josh Travis, who is not there. Speaking of Danza 4, of course, as you know, I am into CD collecting. And October 16th, okay, that's not today. Wait, oh, I don't have my calendar over there. When is this going out? Okay, the day after this goes out, it'll be, I don't know which anniversary, 2012, 2025. Someone will do the math of Danza 4 coming out, and that'll be fun. What was I looking for? Okay. Yeah, on this one, it is quite literally just Jesse Freeland who did the vocals, which I don't know if that was, I mean, I could look this up, but, and Josh Travis who did guitar, bass, drums, production, engineering, and backing vocals on one track, which that's kind of a lot. And I'm pretty sure Joshua Travis is like in a Muir. And then there's other people who did some additional vocals on the Alpha the Omega, which they did perform the Alpha the Omega live. And it was the guy from Johnny Booth who did some of the vocals, and I can't remember what band she is from. But yeah, that's who did the guest vocals. I'm trying to look. But yeah, this album came out in 2012 during this this album came out during the second Obama administration, I think. October? Yes. No? Yes. Well, okay, no. It came out during the first Obama administration. This is before the election. So this album came out during the Obama years. Which there is that one, which, by the way, Hold the Line as a song, it's something. I mean, if you want to glaze the US military, then by all means, but like, yeah. Listen. I don't know, man. What I do know is I don't know if it was this guy, Jesse Freeland, or someone else, but I do remember hearing or finding out that one of the vocalists for Danza ended up becoming like a cop. So once you hear that, things start to make sense. And also, they did open up their set with the old God Bless. So it's like, yeah. Is Danza for cops and military people? I don't know. Maybe. You know what? That would be really unfortunate, but also nothing surprises me anymore, unfortunately. But anyways, one of my first props that I have here, I was able to get a Tony Danza black logo shirt. They did have shirts with like their classic logo, but I kind of didn't like it, so I just got this one. I was hoping they would have music because I don't even know if I finished the thought that I had earlier, but I've been wanting to expand my CD collection, and there is one singular CD of Danza 4 available. It's being sold by the same person on both Discogs and eBay, so like there are two listings, but it's the same CD, and it's like $75, and it's like, I love this album. I'm not paying $75, even though I want I want it. It's just, but also it's like, is this gonna go back into print? I don't know. It would be nice if it could. Probably won't, but that's just I don't know. Is the label even still active? Yes. Allegedly it is. Black market activities. But I don't think they have like that was a motorcycle or something. What is this? Is this merchandise? Nope, this is just information. Let me see. IndieMerch.com. Well, they have some CDs and stuff from other bands, but I don't see it. Nope. Oh wait, hold on, what's this? There's a poster for Danza. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I did in my searches see a framed Danza 4 poster, which I don't know if I would purchase that, but it was also like, it's $400. It was literally $420. So it's like, I'm not for a framed poster. I mean, it might be rare. Maybe, but since they are coming back, and they did say during their set that they are planning on coming back, and also recording new music. So there may be a Danza 5 on the horizon for 2026 and touring. So hopefully, maybe that means they'll come to Jackson. I can only hope. They are from Tennessee. They are technically a regional band. They're from Murfreesboro. So it's like, why couldn't they, do the old South Circuit? Because I will say, whoever is doing talent buying over at Hal & Mal's is doing a very good job, because not only did we get Gideon, but we got, who was it? The show that I didn't go to because it was the day before, Peeling Flesh, and we also have Hawthorne Heights coming up. I want to say that's next month. So whoever's doing the talent buying over at Hal & Mal's, they got their ear to the ground. They know what the people want, and what the people want is a Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza. Okay, that is all. Hopefully that message reaches whoever it needs to reach to get them to come here. And if they do, I will be seated. I'll do advertising. I'll talk about it on this podcast and on my Instagram, and I'll also be there, seated, standing, because, there's no seats, but front row, I'll be there. So, another thing that ended up happening that is greatly, my lips are so dry, it'll be fine. That was greatly unprecedented. And, coming from me, this is going to be very surprising. Like, Aaron, like, what on earth? So, I was sort of goaded, GOADED, into doing a little bit of moshing during Danza's set. Because, I'm not a mosher. I've written this whole freaking essay about crowd killing, okay? Like, we've had, me and others have had these conversations at length. So there is nothing really that would indicate that little old me, would be a mostress. But, during that time, we were there, just kind of fooling around, and I was like, oh man, I was like, this is before, I can't remember actually at what time this was, but there's no band playing, so it was like, kind of just like goofing around, like throwing my arms and everything, and I wanted to see how high I could kick, which is apparently pretty high, because one of the side effects of doing ballet for the first 13 years of your life is that you get pretty flexible, and it hasn't really gone away. Also, I'm saying all this like I'm just like so good at it. So I ended up moshing during Danza's set. It was, I can't remember the name of the song, but it was the song, part of the song before the Alpha the Omega, and then Rudy X3, which they closed with. And I will say, I thought I was going a little bit harder than I was, because, given that this was, it was caught on video, and I found that video, and I'm going to play that video for you, and I'm not even going to lie, I think maybe I gave myself the ick just a little bit. I gave myself the ick watching myself mosh. I will say, before I even play this video, I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun spinning and kicking. There were a few factors that made this something that I wanted to do. Number one, the fact that I had been sort of goaded into it. That helps. Number two, the pit wasn't super crazy, it wasn't like all out carnage, because this is Danza, it's kind of hard to find the beat, this isn't like a big breakdown band, so it's like, it's probably gonna be fine, and also I felt like there was enough space. That's another thing, there has to be enough space. The pit was like nice and wide and open, as you will see in this video that I am about to play, And also, it just kind of felt like a win in Rome type of thing. I don't know if I think I am immediately entering mosh retirement, because I'm not going to lie. I I don't think I like hurt myself, but I definitely pulled something in my thigh after that. Like I was just sore for like 2.5 days. I'm better now, but like the immediate morning after, I was struggling. Like, I don't know the name of the muscle or anything, and like you can't see where I'm like feeling, but like whatever muscle you use to like lift your leg up, like I can kind of still feel it, like right now actually in my left leg. Whatever muscle you use to lift the leg up, why isn't okay? I'm lifting my leg up. You can't see me lift my leg up, but whatever muscle that is, I wanged it. I did something to it because it was hurting for a while. Okay. I mean, enough dilly-dallying. Let's just get to the video. And hopefully this transition will be smooth. Also, there is no audio because I screen recorded this from Instagram story that was sent to me. I think it is on Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza's like memories on Instagram. So you might be able to find it yourself with the audio. But this, because there's like another angle that I have, because I went through their stories trying to find it. Trying to see what I looked like. I'm gonna blow my nose afterwards. Actually, no, I'm gonna blow my nose right now. After I blow my nose, now we can get to the video. So I'll narrate it a little bit because there is no audio, but you're gonna see me come in through the left. There I am. I'm wearing a striped shirt, like a mesh. You can see me. You can see me, but you can see where I am. And I am just absolutely full sending it this whole time. And it felt like I was doing so much, but I was not. I was not doing that much. And I just have it on loop here. But honestly, this guy, I don't know who this is wearing like a pink hat. I think they might have been staff or something like that. There's probably like a very high quality video of me doing this, because I did collide with my video is kind of concealing it, but I did kind of collide with that guy at least one time. I did this is when I like very first started, by the way. I did make contact with someone, but like it was pretty easy not to get hit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I did not get hit or even really pushed. Like, I was doing most of the pushing, you know? So it's like, that's another thing. The pit wasn't like super, contact heavy. So it's like, yeah. And even though I honestly felt great while I was doing it, looking back, I look a little goofy. I can't even lie to you, but I had a lot of fun, and I can see why people do this. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. However, and I'll just switch back now, I have realized, which I mean, it didn't really take much for me to realize. I mean, I've always known this, but I am a very unathletic person, and by the end of the set, which I was doing this for 2.5 songs, I was gasping for air, and also it was really dusty, because I'll go back, but all of this, that's like hay on the ground. That's not like dirt or anything. That's hay, and it was very dry, and there's just so much dust, and I breathed it all in, so yeah. But anyways, something that I did want to point out was I made the decision, because I just wanted to be so cute while I was at this festival. I put on some nails, and these are the nails that I was wearing. Okay, hold on. Ooh, beauty influencer. You still can't see it because the contrast is horrible, but they're impress nails. Just like some lilac press on. Not even just like press on with the glue, but peel and stick nails. I did not expect these to last the weekend, or me moshing, because like I said, I did make contact with a couple of people, but These nails, these cheap nails that I bought so long ago, I can't even remember how much they cost, but they were probably less than $10, that I bought from the hair store. These nails are mosh proof. Like, they also, I could very well be peeking the mic, but I can't tell because this ear is like half dead, so it's like it'll get fixed in post anyway. So anyway, these nails, if you are a fellow mosh stress and you want some mosh proof nails, go to the hair store, go to the beauty supply store, and buy some cheap peel and stick nails because they will stay on. Now, I will say, these came off the minute that I got back home because these are pretty long. Like, my nails can grow pretty long on their own, but they were much longer than that. And usually, when I am wearing nails, I'll like cut them down a little bit, but I didn't do it for this because aesthetic, I guess. But man, it was torturous not to have the use of my hands for not even just the weekend, but the day before, because that's when I put them on. But I mean, they were cute. They are my favorite color. I don't know if I can hold it up. They're literally the same color as my keyboard. My mechanical keyboard, one of my prized possessions. And they're freaking peel and stick. And all I did was like wipe my nails off with the little alcohol pad that's included in here and stick them on. And they stayed on the whole weekend. I was so surprised. And I am a person that approaches life fingertip first. So that's even more surprising. Another thing that was mosh proof are my eargasm earbuds. Here they are. They didn't fall out or even really get loose. So I am sort of not prepared for this. So let me just go to it because I do have a bit of a confession to make. Why did I not, how did I not get, what am I even talking about? I'm still looking for this. Hold on. Let me try to find this so that I can, I'm very not prepared. I mean, I am a little bit prepared, but I'm also like not prepared at all. Is that the one? I sure do hope so. Oh, here we go. There it is. Okay. Is that it? Where is it? Okay. So, this, I actually did it way, oh, I did not know it had been that long. Okay, so I did this way back in July, and for whatever reason, I just did not, well, okay, I say way back in July, it's actually like early August, and I just never announced it. I had written out like this whole video script, but at this point, it's like, what's the point, hold on. I am an eargasm earbassador. That is correct. This is my official announcement now that I am part of the earbassador program for eargasm earplugs. I did their little application and they're like, hey, sure, why not? So it's like, I have a discount code now. You can go on is that even their website? Hold on, eargasm.com. You can go on eargasm.com and buy any of their products and use code JX10 and get 10% off of your order. Now, why did I decide to become an eargasm earbassador? Well, number one, I kind of just wanted to see if I could. And I can. So now I am. Another reason is that, this is going to sound very corny because, it is a corny marketing thing to say, but it is also true. But I believe in the product. This pair of earbuds, earplugs that I'm holding right here, I've had these since I want to say either 2021 or 2022. The same pair I've used this entire time. I bought them going to my second ever concert, which was Beartooth at the Below Tour at the Joy Theater in New Orleans. And I wanted to be prepared. So I was like, what are the best earplugs that I can get that are going to make me not go deaf? Because, by this point, I wanted at the time to start going to a lot of concerts. But I didn't just want to use the foam earplugs. I want something that's gonna last. And so I found Eargasm. And they have lasted. They have lasted several concerts, several local shows, and at least one festival. And I was going to pull them out, but they're really dirty. I need to clean them. So we're not going to look at that. But these earplugs are... Good Lord. These earplugs are mosh-proof. They will withstand the sweat in your ear canal, and they will make it so that you don't go deaf or get tinnitus. Like, think about that. Because there are far too many old heads in this community. And also young people, which I see you. I see all the people out here raw dogging shows. I've talked about it for a long time. Okay? Even before I am sort of kind of being paid to talk about it. You should not be raw dogging shows. If you value your hearing and you value not having tinnitus, get a pair of Eargasm earplugs and get 10% off with my code JX10, okay? They have a variety of products. From what I can tell, the only difference is the color and the size for your ear. They do have the over-the-ear ones for, like, kids. Let's see, what do they have? They have branded ones, obviously, but I just have the regular, high-fidelity earplugs. Those are the ones that I have. They're the ones that I use. They're the ones that I have loved all this time. So, one more time. Code JX10. Okay? And now I will say this. As I'm recording this, they are $46. I bought mine for, I think, like $39 on Amazon some years ago. The prices have gone up, but I'm hoping that the quality has remained the same because, like I said, I've had the same pair like this whole time. So I can't tell you whether or not the quality has changed, but I will say these are great earplugs. They're definitely better than the foam ones, okay? And they're also better than going freaking deaf. And also another thing is like, they don't block out like just so much sound. You can still definitely hear stuff that you want to hear. You can even eavesdrop on conversations with these in, because Lord knows I've heard a lot of eavesdrop conversations just like standing around at concerts and shows and stuff with these bad boys in, and it's like, man, how am I still able to hear these eavesdropped conversations so clearly? Like, whoa, these are good earplugs. I like them, and I think you should get them, and use code JX10 for 10% off. Wowee. Isn't it so great that your old pal Aaron is looking out for you? Chimpanzee that. So, that's my ad read for the episode. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, moshing. They're mosh proof. Did I mention that? I'm pretty sure I did. Anyways, after Danza. This episode is gonna be so long, good Lord. Okay. After Danza, I was mostly just resting and recovering, and I don't think I like actually injured myself, but I definitely did like maybe pulled something just like a little bit in my thigh. So I was kind of just limping along, and this is only barely halfway through the day, and we were staying until the entire thing, the whole shebang. I will say on Sunday rather, they were having some like issues on the main stage with the sound because they ended up being behind for Tony Danza, I think, Horse the Band. I don't know who ended up going over, but I don't know if someone ended up going over or if it's just like technical difficulties, but I will say Knock Loose started, I want to say like 45 minutes late. Like we were there for a while. Let's see, who did I see after Danza? I think Converge, maybe? I think so. But also, it also rained. Like, I could see the storm clouds forming, like, right before Danza set, and I was like, oh, it better not start raining. I don't want it to start raining. Because, like, I didn't know what the rain plan was. Like, obviously, it was just to keep going, because it rained, and they kept going, so it was kind of fine. And, I mean, it wasn't, like, thunderstorm type rain or anything like that. It was just kind of... I mean, the rain wasn't really that bad, so... But I still ended up getting rained on, and that wasn't fun. I have to blow my nose again. Another nose trumpet interlude. Yeah, we stayed for the rest of the day. And we stayed for Knock Loose, which that was a lot of fun. I will say the production was like really good. Honestly, I wasn't super concerned about staying for Knock Loose. I kind of could have took it or left it. Was my thing, but everyone else wanted to stay for it, so I was like, okay. So it's mostly just sitting the whole time. It was enjoyable. They played the Arf Arf song, and I arfed at the right time, so that was fun. And also, they had, like, this big glowing cross, which is, on the cover of their latest album. So that was... And they had, like, these big smoke cannons. Like, the stage production for Knock Loose was really great. I will say stage production for some of the other bands. I mean, obviously, the non-headliners don't really get as much stage production as the headliners. And I want to say Knock Loose was the only headliner that I, like, paid attention to. And their, like, stage production was great. And let's see, for, like, music stuff, I don't really have much else to say. So I already showed my Danza shirt that I got, which I'm just going to put this on the ground. But I did also get a festival shirt. I kind of wanted one that had, like, the year and the lineup on it. Well, hold on, this does have the year. What's MMXSV? That's 2025. Okay, so this does technically have the year on it, but, like, yeah. I wanted one that had the lineup on it. I don't know if they were selling ones with the lineup on it. When I got this one, I don't think they were. And also, they didn't have my size. This is a XL, and they didn't have the color that I wanted because I wanted the green one, but this is the long sleeve. Yep. And there's something on the sleeve. Is it this sleeve? No, it's the other sleeve. Here's the sleeve. What does this say? What does this say? Hold on. Hold up. Oh, it just says Furnace Fest on the sleeve. And then I am just rubbing up against the microphone. I am so sorry. This is the front. And like I said, it's a long sleeve, so this is probably just going to be a shirt that I wear around the house. But they had a bunch of different vendors there. Aside from bands selling merch and the festival selling merch, they also had a bookstore. They had, like, a vintage, like, t-shirt store selling vintage, like, band shirts. They also had a couple different, I want to say, record labels selling physical media. And I got a couple of CDs that I'm pretty happy about. The first one that I got, New Age Filth by Hell the Sun. This is the CD. I, of course, took it out of its wrapping because I have been playing this. Like, the CD's not in here because it's in my CD player in my living room. But, nice artwork. There's a booklet inside with lyrics. And then at the same stand, because what was this? Equal Vision Records was the stand selling it. I got Selfish Machines by Pierce the Veil, which, I mean, I only really like one track from it, which is Caraphernalia, which I do listen to quite often. But it's in a sleeve. Ooh, hold on. There we go. So this is like wood grainy, and then you have this. I love CDs and, like, vinyls and stuff because there is so much, like, additional, like, artwork and stuff in them that you don't really get just, like, from streaming. So, that's another point for physical media. So yeah, I wasn't like broke teen or anything like that, but I wasn't really trying to spend too much money on like merch and stuff because the festival shirt cost $60. That was kind of a lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even know how much it cost until I checked my bank account the next day, but it was in fact $60. And the Danza shirt was $35, which that was kind of wild. However, I got both of these CDs. I mean, I bought them on different days, but both of these CDs for $10. They're $5 each. So that was pretty decent because this was going for 10 online, and this is also probably going for a decent amount online. So I got a good deal there. They did have a bookstore selling books about like the history of punk and like straight edge and stuff like that, and I was sort of interested in it, but I'm on a book moratorium because I have so many books that I haven't read and I just couldn't buy another one. So it's like, I mean, I could obviously look them up later. I mean, I didn't really like stop to look at the stand to actually, see if maybe I wanted them, but anywho. And then on this past Monday, we drove home and it was very sad for me because it's like, man, now I gotta just go back to work after this. Like, how do you even do that? How do you, And they also, because I'm just looking at the Furnace Fest Instagram here, they had these photo booths set up, but I didn't make use of them, unfortunately. And there's probably, other stuff set up. Who is this? Okay, no, never mind. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. It was simultaneously the longest and shortest, 3-day weekend of this year. Because, standing around for 5 ever. Wait, what is this? Wait! Hold on, this is the video. Oh, I'm in the video! Oh, I literally just said, like, oh yeah, they probably have, dang, hold on. I literally just said, oh yeah, there's probably, official video, because I knocked into a guy. I'm in the video. You can't see what I'm looking at right now. Man. I'm just watching this in silence. Dang it. I know why I'm saying dang it, like this is bad, but this is, oh man. I'm just, yeah, love. Also, I will say they did, ban any professional cameras. I saw so many freaking camera people at this goddamn festival. I was like, what do I gotta do to get in next time? Because, like, they weren't giving out media passes. Because it's like, oh, maybe I can, like, finesse a media pass. Would I be able to do that? Like, you never know if you don't try. And I sure was gonna try, but they were not giving away media passes. So I was like, dang it. I would really love to be able to take pictures at a festival like this, And it's like, I mean, I know like all the bands and stuff had their own video and photo people because they were all posted up like right next to the stages and stuff like that. And it's like, how can I want to do that, Like, I've been taking pictures at shows now for a year-ish. So it's like, it's not like I don't have the skill set or anything like that. Like, realistically, I could do this. Like, I already okay. I was going to say, I already started to do it for work. I do video for work. I don't do photography for work. But, like, there's really nothing stopping me from, like, doing something like that. Like, I have the skill set. I would argue I have the portfolio. So it's like, and there was, God, I need another drink. My mouth is just so dry. So there was an opportunity that came up a little while ago. a band from Mississippi was looking for a traveling photographer slash videographer to go on tour with them. And for like a half a minute, I was like, what if I did something like that? Just to do it for the plot, honestly. But also I was like, do I want to I was thinking practically, do I want to travel across state lines with these strangers in this van? Because they're going all the way to Ohio. And I was like, oh, that's kind of far, you know? And there are some bands here in Jackson that do sort of have their own de facto photographers. Like I'm a free agent. I'm not assigned to anybody. I will take pictures of whomever. And, I will also just give out those pictures for free because why not? But it's like, and I'm not even really saying it for like money reasons, but just to say that I do it, just to say that I could do it, just to say that I have done it, kind of, like I could do something like that. And watching all of these videos and not watching all these videos, watching all these videos and seeing all the people there just roaming around with cameras, whether or not they're working for the bands or for the festival itself, it's like, I could do that. Like, straight up. Like, I could do that. What's stopping me? I don't know. Me, myself, I guess. But I sort of would kind of love to do that. So yeah, I don't know. It would definitely be an undertaking, but I don't know. I think it would be a lot of fun. So anyways, that was Furnace Fest. I barely have any time to talk about any non-musical topics today, but I have a couple of musical topics. So, God, I got a DM a couple of Fridays ago from the artist formerly known as Knife Palms, and I was very, very surprised to hear from him because I'm not gonna lie, for a while there, I was like, did I get got by a guy using AI? Because, I had written this whole article about Knife Palms, about how much I love this music, I do still love the music, but over the past couple of months, he's delisted everything. His name is Will. He delisted everything from all streaming platforms. There's no way for me to listen to any of it. And I was like, man, this kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. And technically he's allowed to do whatever he wants with his music, and he's well within his rights to delist everything, but I'm also well within my rights to be a little sad about it. I can be a little sad about it. And I was a little sad about it until I got that DM and saw that he had a new project, and it's called Cardinal Casino. And for some of this, he has... Why is this not showing up in search? Literally, why is this not showing up in search? I've searched this before. Don't do this to me. That's not it. Is that it? No. Wait, hold on. I actually might be wrong. No, I'm not. I'm not wrong. Let me see. Hold on. I'm about to find out. We're all about to find out. Let me see. Where is it? It is Cardinal Casino. And why the flippin' heck is this not showing up on Spotify search results? Hello? Oh, that's not even what I looked up. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. Duh. Wait, hold on. There it is. So yeah, as of right now, he's got one EP out called Island Heat, and it does sound somewhat familiar because there are some repurposed songs on here, especially there's a 3-song EP called Blind Tiger, and a sort of re-recording of Pathogen, which was the opening track, So They Say, is also on here. So, I'm happy that this is back because I did like the music that Will made, and so the fact that it's back is very nice to me. So yeah, that was great. But, of course, So They Say and Covenant are, functionally gone. There's no way to really get that back. So unless I don't know, broke into his hard drives, which I'm not about to do all of that, So it's like, yeah, that was really nice to get. Honestly improved my day. I don't know what was going on a couple of Fridays ago when I got that message, but I just wasn't having it. Actually, it was more than a couple of Fridays. It was a few Fridays ago. But getting that message honestly made my day, and I'm so happy that Will's back making music. So check that out if you can, and you can, so check that out. Which, what? Anyway. Let me see. So, speaking of new music, the preeminent, that's not what that means, Sledge Band favorites from Vicksburg, Beneath the Kudzu, have put out their debut album, EP, hold on, I'm trying to, let's see, album, called Birds Sing As the World Crumbles. You can find it pretty much everywhere. It came out, like a week ago, some time ago, or was it this past week? I think it might have been this past week, actually. This says October 6th, but I think it officially came out the 10th. Somewhere along last week. And I unfortunately have not listened to it yet. However, if this does include, songs that they have performed over the years, then I know I'm going to enjoy it. So if you're into sledge metal, if you're into doomy, doomy stuff, doomy dark, very slow, that kind of stuff, you're gonna like Beneath the Kudzu's album, and also seeing them live. And let me see when you can see them live. Hold on. Hold on, I'm logged in. I'll tell you when you can see them live next, because it is actually kind of soon, I think. Their next performance is... Oh, that already happened. I thought there was one coming up. Am I bugging? Okay. This Wednesday, the day that this comes out, October 15th, in Vicksburg, there is Thunder Chief, Beneath the Kudzu, Heavy Yeti, and Chief City at the Watermark in Vicksburg. If you would like to go to that. That is in Vicksburg, however. I don't know when they're coming back to Jackson. It's probably on my calendar somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Well, since we're speaking of upcoming shows, this week, tomorrow, as this is coming out, so the 16th, we have the kickoff to the... Why do I have this as 9:30 a.m.? That's so not right. Hold on. Okay, the time is very wrong. I think I just forgot to change it, but the Smoking Cannon Tour will kick off at the End of All Music. Usually their shows start at 7, so I'm going to assume that it starts at 7, and this is on Thursday, and I'm just going to change this on my calendar so that it's right. And then, on Friday, we have... Why don't I have a location for this? Why is my calendar just lacking? We have Hangnail Ripoff, Shangri-La, Encircled Throne, and Cookie Woo. And I think I'm missing something, actually. Somewhere. I'm about to tell you where. Give me a minute so I can tell you where. This is... Where is this at, actually? At Hal & Mal's in the Red Room. And... yeah, Shangri-La, Cookie Woo, Encircled Throne, and Hangnail Ripoff from Florida, will be at Hal & Mal's, and this is a benefit show for the Animal Rescue Fund, so all proceeds will be going to the Animal Rescue Fund for that. Let's see, and then there's two that I have. Okay, this other one that I have, it's a lot of Jackson bands, but it's in Vicksburg. And I think it's another... Hold on. I think it's another benefit show. I'm trying to... Hold on. I do believe, let me see. Yes, this is another benefit show. In Vicksburg, we have Rabid Venom, Gortitian, Encircled Throne, Exorcism, Eyes Like Yours, American Soil, and Syntasia. At the Watermark in Vicksburg, $10 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bands. It starts at noon, and all proceeds go to the Alzheimer's Association in Mississippi. And then, same day, the 18th, we have Swinging Astrid, New Fools, Beat Up, and Kicking at Urban Foxes. And then next week, we have Blue Window, Goo and Rainier, Surf Wax, and Eyes Like Yours, which I'm pretty sure Blue Window, Goo and Rainier, and definitely Surf Wax, all three of them were at Couchfest this year. Eyes Like Yours was not. But they'll be at the End of All Music, October 24th, on a Friday. And then, I don't have the location for this, but I do have the support. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but False Gods is coming back in there. Okay, so the poster for it says one thing. Hold on. But also, hold on. They're Fall into Darkness. Well, okay, maybe not actually, because I think this one might. Anyway. This says, hold on. Well, that's not it. Well, okay, so the poster that I see says it's the Lost in Darkness and Distance tour, but technically it's the Fall into Darkness tour. However, Lungburner, they are touring alongside, will not be in Jackson. So, it'll be False Gods, Face Rot, Measureless Aeons, and Exorcism. You do have to inquire about the address. So yeah, you're gonna have to do some looking. You're gonna have to hunt that one down. And that's gonna start at 6. Why do I have 6 on here? Is that true? Chat, is that true? Probably. I've seen the poster. Okay, here we go. Yes, it does start at 6, but you do have to DM for the address. I don't know where it's gonna be, because I haven't DM'd for the address yet, because I just do things last minute, I guess. And then after that, we have a Halloween benefit cover show. That's going to be at the End of All Music. And then we have the Halloweekening, which is going to be a large collection of bands at CS's. And then we have Halloween, which is also not that large of a collection of bands, but there will be quite a few bands. Pretty much every band is booked on Halloween this year. And that's going to be at Howlin' Mal's. And then I have to blow my nose again. I love when I blow my nose and then my nose just gets even more stopped up. But anyways, November. I'm just going to go through the shows that are in November because there aren't that many. So let's see. The 5th of November, that's the one that you're supposed to remember, bars, we have Vampiric Coffin, Exorcism, and Suicide Forest in the End of All Music. And then, the one that I will be seated for, the Spirit of Possibility, That Which Waits Beyond Sleep, The Sky Imposes Its Will, and Adenami at the End of All Music on November 7th. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm definitely missing something. I am missing something. Hold on. I'm about to look it up. Yeah, this isn't... Oh, wait. Okay, this is in November. October. October 27th. I don't know why I didn't put this on my calendar, because, I've known about it. But Charmaine Lee, Optic Sync, Surur, Gravemember, and Dunset at the End of All Music on Monday. That is... a Monday at 7. Okay, so for the other thing that I didn't forget, where am I? Hawthorne Heights, Shadowboxing, and Susio. That's going to be at Howlin' Mal's on Sunday the 9th. And then that same week, we have Sex Mex is coming back. And I screenshotted this, but I did not add it to the calendar. We have Headcanon and Eyes Like Yours supporting at Urban Foxes. And then we have Iris Blue, Rosehaven Motor Hotel at Howlin' Mal's on Howlin' Mal's. That's on the 12th. And then I have some on here that don't have times. Oh, this one. Okay, this one's probably not happening. This might be old. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so while we were at, what was I saying? While we were at Furnace Fest, there was another fest that was announced. That's potentially very exciting. It is called Forever Fest. It is an emo festival in Jackson. I'm looking it up. It's an emo festival in Jackson on November 22nd. That's Saturday. Let me see. Actually, what's the website? There's a website. It's just foreverfestjackson.com. I'm just going to go to the website so I can tell you the details. For foreverfestjackson.com. And so, for this one, we have A Life So Fragile, Beat Up, Camping in Alaska, who I was like, man, that's familiar. They are from Huntsville, Alabama. We have John Morrow, Glazed Eyes, Empty Atlas, Mostly Satire, Shadowboxing, and Susio. And this is on the 22nd of November. And tickets are on sale, and they are $20 hairs. And also, I looked up the location for this. It's like, it's off of Lakeland Drive, right? And it's not a place that I've ever been to for music. But the street view that I have, the street view that I have, which is from 2022, I guess this used to be City Heart Church. What comes up on Google now is like a pickleball facility. So yeah, seeing emo in a pickleball facility, wouldn't that be fun? I don't know if there's anything else being housed in this location, but that's what's there. I mean, it does kind of give old school, like, seeing a band at what do you call it? School auditorium or like a church auditorium type vibe. So that's gonna be fun to see. Yay. And yeah. Those are all the music topics that I have because I could not possibly I saw 2 movies recently, but you're not going to know what they are unless you follow me on Letterboxd. So, yeah. We're just going to have to table those discussions for another week, 2 weeks, because that's how often this comes out. So yeah, that is this has been the very germ-filled 56th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I've been your host, Erin. Thank you for allowing me to run my mouth and being patient when I have to blow my nose, even though it's getting edited out anyway, so like there's no patience involved. Follow me on Instagram, because if you're not following me on Instagram, you're only getting half the story. And remember, use code JX10 for 10% off a pair of Eargasm earplugs. Save your hearing while you still can. Okay? Don't do it because I said so. Do it because hearing is fun. So I sort of forgot until just this moment, but I cooked a whole meal and I still need to put it away. Not only that, but my freaking curtain fell down. You can't see it, obviously, but it's just on the ground. Thankfully, it didn't hit my monitor. That would have sucked, but I have to put this curtain back up at some point. Yep. I'm tired. I'm so tired. So sleepy. I'm just a girl. What can I say? I really am just a girl. And being a girl is greatly difficult in these United States anyways.